Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I guess are doing fantastic. Listen, Toshi is ready to explode, and I'm not joking. I will show you why I believe Toshi is going to explode based off technical analysis. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what Toshi has been up to over the last week or two. Last time I covered this coin was about a week or two ago. So let's see what Toshi has been up to. So we see just a new post charging forward with Toshi Energy. And we can also see, ladies and gentlemen, that we are almost at 110,000 followers on Twitter. So very, very, very nice. But we can see, right? The Shadow Mint is live. Get your on-chain avatar, right? Entering the games and compete for a prize pool up to $55,000. Mint now using the Toshi base referral link. And right, so if you're interested in this, highly recommend it. You know, I'm sure there's not the most amount of people playing it, right? I know a lot of people are just here to buy crypto and hold, etc. But that does mean that if you do play this, then the odds are less stacked against you, because if there's less players, just even if everyone's an equal skill, right, your probability of winning gets higher. So, you know, something worth, thinking about, worth entering, in my opinion, right? You see just more and more posts. Toshi is back in Lisbon. The open edition Toshi is Lisbon 2 is now live, only available, right? NFC Summit, do not miss it, right? We can see just more Toshi posts, and we can see this, right? Boom, the Meow DAO made this happen. The community powered decisions, real world impact, keep people connected thanks to your vote. More to come with World Mobile Team. So very, very, very nice, right? Very, very, very nice. And we can see, yeah, we are pretty much getting to where we last left off with Toshi, which is around here, right? With the app. And we can see, right? So solid updates. I think the game was the biggest thing that I've personally seen in terms of that aspect. But when we go to the actual chart, ladies and gentlemen, things are about to get popping. All right. When we take the Toshi top to the last relevant top, right, which is right over here, mid-May, we can see that we are almost touching this zone. Now, why is that a very big and green and important thing? Well, ladies and gentlemen, because once we start getting past this zone, I expect us to really, really burst above, okay? I genuinely do. And we could see that in general, historically, we know that once coins kind of get above this zone, they kind of just slow down a little bit, but that's because they retest off of the big trend line, and then they start pumping. So we can see potential gains up to maybe $1 billion market cap over the next few weeks. And it is not impossible, especially that we know when we go and look at something like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking to expand, and I expect Bitcoin to hit roughly 120,000 by mid-June. Now, of course, if Bitcoin starts going to 120,000, starts going to unknown new territory, right, then I do expect for us, to see some type of reward. Even though altcoin season isn't happening just yet, I still expect for us to be getting a little bit of the pie and a little bit of the love. Right. So the next two targets I expect for Toshi to hit is this 300, let's just say 400 million market cap, which would be almost, 2x, a little bit less than that. Boom, we can see, right, 65% gains. And then the next relevant one would be looking to take out these all-time highs. Now, I still personally wouldn't cash out there unless you're trying to make a quick flip, which of course, that at that point, you have to do it on your own, right? We can see if we go up here, that would be 3.8 times our money if we invested at this very, very second. Okay. But look, for me, Toshi's preparing for something bigger, right? I believe ultimately, right, if we cut out all the micro moves, this is going to be next move. It's probably going to sweep it. It's probably going to start going a little bit below, but then it's going to go sideways. Now, here's the thing. I believe Toshi will do very well this cycle. The question is how well, right? And this depends on one main thing, right? Right now, we can see that we are rank 182. We have 235 million market cap. Volume has always been kind of iffy with this coin, but we are sitting at 20 million volume. But we can see, ladies and gentlemen, right, that there's a few things that I notice. Number one, low market cap, which means we have a lot of growth potential. Number two, right, we are still not listed on Binance. We're still not listed on some other very big and even medium exchanges, which does, which means there's a lot of growth and opportunity, right? Number three, ladies and gentlemen, is how much will the base meta be in the spotlight? Because here's the thing. I still think this token, even if it's not in the biggest of spotlights, can probably hit that 10x, 10 to 15x, right? Low to mid billions in the market cap. I think it's very, very possible. But can it hit 10 billion? Can it possibly hit 8 billion? Can it possibly hit 12 billion? I believe so, but there has to be a base meta, which obviously is not up to me. I'm not the one that dictates that, right? That could be the difference between, let's say, you making 10 to 15x and you potentially making 30 to 40x, okay? Because here's the thing. When we go on something like base, we know Toshi's already one of the top dogs, but what is higher? Brett. Now, why do I mention Brett? Because this is actually very important. This actually helps you guys a little bit. People are going to see, well, Brett, it's like the top, base meme coin, but it's like double the market cap of Toshi. And this is how people think. They think about ratios and potential gains. Now, let's say both of these coins do have a potential to hit 10 billion market cap, right? Just because Brett's higher right now doesn't mean it's always going to be higher. So we can see if Brett were to hit 10 billion, that'd be roughly 20x, a little bit less, but let's just simple numbers 20x. But if investors see, wait, we're sub 250 million market cap, 10 billion market cap would be a 40x. Now, what seems like a more, enticing investment? For me, it's the one that has higher potential when it comes to meme coins, right? And just in general. So that is the thing that Toshi has over Brett, is that yes, Brett is higher, but there's more upside, potential in terms of ratios to, come back into your pockets. So yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I overall do expect very, very nice things with this coin to happen very, very soon, right? We already called out multiple price points. We talked about how when Toshi was here, before it even got into the zone, right? We were already talking about it, how in the when it was up here, we expected it to come back here. It was very nice. We literally called these bottoms before it pumped. And then we obviously been calling the pullbacks and been saying that we do expect this coin to reverse and definitely not go lower than this point down here of 150 million market cap, right? Because it wouldn't make sense in terms of structure. But yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye. Portfolio reviews, economic and global updates and news, frequent up-to-date technical analysis, and a very supportive community. Sell and buy calls and trading education is provided. If that sounds good to you, now is the time to act. Once the markets start moving, there is no I should have, coulda, woulda. Now is the time. If you want to take things to another level, we have the blueprint that covers everything from A to Z in crypto that you need. No fluff, no bullshit, just the most important news, fundamentals, and technicals to have you succeed in these markets.